Transitions are never easy, and that's easy to forget. I mean, however big or however small the transition, when a transition comes upon us, it usually comes with a lot of confusion, a lot of pain, a lot of disorientation, of forgetting how to move forward, of forgetting that you've gone through transitions before, and God always proved to be faithful then. Transitions are difficult. I mean, I remember with all four of our kids, that transition of going from diaper to big boy or big girl pants was tough. Lots of mistakes, lots of frustration, but also lots of moments of victory. Transitions are tough. Like teaching here at a college, every single year it's fascinating because within the same year, I see two massive transitions occur. You have, on one hand, students coming to college for the very first time, the freshmen, the fresh people that are coming here, transitioning from high school life into college life. And there's some things I have to teach them. Some of the times I'll have to tell them this, like, listen, I know in high school it was cool to be dumb. It's not cool to not care here. It's not cool to barely pass a class here. Here, it is all about hard work because the church is worth it. And yet, just a couple of months later, I see another transition within the same year. I see a transition again whenever students that have been here for multiple years walk across a stage, grab a diploma, and step out into a world that may or may not be ready for this moment. Transitions are tough. They're always difficult. They're always confusing. And sometimes it's really good to have a reminder of what is most important in the midst of a transition, because some transitions are bigger than others. Like death. The death of a loved one. The death of a parent. The death of a mentor. That's where I was at this morning in Joshua chapter 1. The very beginning of the book, Joshua chapter 1, verse 1 begins this way. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses' mentee, Moses' disciple. Moses has died. And Joshua's mentor has now left him a mantle to begin to carry. The Lord says to Joshua, Moses, my servant, is dead. Transition. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I'm about to give them. Transition. Moving from wandering to settled. From the wilderness to the promised land. Transition. I'm about to give them this land to the Israelites. Verse 3. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses, your mentor who has just died. Transition. He then in verse 4 and the beginning of verse 5 starts to describe the territory that he is giving them. And then halfway through verse 5, God says this to Joshua, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. So be strong and courageous. Did you catch that? In this incredible moment of transition, in this incredible moment of mourning, where Joshua's mentor has passed, God first reminds him this: I am with you. My presence is walking with you. In the same way I was with Moses, I will be with you. And then he gives him this command: be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. In other words, Joshua, as you are processing the transition of the passing of your mentor, use that as a tool. being reminded of the fact that I am with you and that you will be able to persist by being strong and courageous. Use that as a tool to help the people of Israel transition from the wilderness to the promised land. Then notice this in verse 7. God says it again. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep the book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Notice every time God repeats something in the scriptures, he's trying to make sure we don't miss it. And 3 times now, in 5 verses, God has said, be strong and courageous. Why? Because in the midst of a transition, it's easy to feel weak. It's easy to be afraid. It's easy to cower. It's easy to forget that God is with us. And it's easy to forget the path he's laid out for us. You see, God understands that in times of transition, even for the most powerful leaders, there are a couple of components that need to be said, restated, and stated again. Number 1, I am with you. The same way I was with my servant Moses, I will be with you. Number 2, I've given you a path. Just obey my commands. And number 3, you can do this. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Verse 9, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. And then listen to what God says. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. I don't know where you're at today, but I want to challenge you with this week. Be strong and courageous. In the face of transition, do not be given to fear. Do not be given to discouragement. Do not forget that God is with you. He has given you a path to walk. And as you walk through this time of transition, however painful it is, do not cower. Press into the pain. Stand firm in the fear. Be strong and courageous, because the Lord our God is with us. I love you. Have a good week.